just when you think it couldn't get worse, it somehow has gotten even worse. Like, the Dolphins losing again to move to 1-5 was already bad, especially in that fashion. But then when you see some of these quotes coming out from McDaniel, from Tua after the game, you wonder how the Dolphins have become the most dysfunctional team in the National Football League. And I think, without a doubt, they are. For the longest time, you could point to the Las Vegas Raiders and say, what are they doing as a franchise? That is dysfunctional stuff. You could point to the Bears. You can point to the Cowboys. But we have a new leader in the clubhouse for a most dysfunctional team in this NFL, and it is the Miami Dolphins. Take away everything that happened on the field today. It was bad. It was dysfunctional. But what was said after the fact made it even worse. And we're starting with Tua Tagovailoa, who in his post-game press conference opened up and laid out the fact that they have had multiple team meetings as a team, as led by players. So player-only meetings. Online, in person, however you want to say it. And he called them out, saying that we have people consistently showing up late. One, do you not have any pride or accountability in yourself? Two, you have Jordan Brooks, when asked about Tua saying that he doesn't have a comment on that. Isn't that awesome? You've got your QB1, the leader of your football team, or at least that's how it should be. Your offensive captain saying that, calling out his team. Is it best to do it in the public eye? Probably not. That's another story for a different day. But then you have your defensive captain, whether it's Jordan Brooks or Zach Sealer, not commenting on that. So you're having two of your top captains, two of your top three, basically contradicting each other. How is this possible? Folks, I'm serious. I'm sorry. Sometimes I get caught with a loss of words. It is very rare that I have a loss for words because boy, can I talk and boy, do I talk. I just don't know how you can respond from this. Like, we talk about rock bottom a lot. We have already been at the bottom, but now we're digging to the hell. Pits of hell. What's that? That's what the phrase is, right? Yeah. Coop, give me a nod. Yeah. That's how bad this is. Dysfunction at an all-time high. Let me hear it. What is your one-word reaction to the drama? I wanted to come up and react to these quotes, and we got more coming up. So stay tuned. Buckle up. But let me know your one word. Mine's dysfunctional. That's why it's in the title. It's why it's the word I've said the most on this show so far. Let me hear yours. But then I want to factor in something else. We've talked about leadership, and we've talked about captains, and we have Jordan Brooks and Tua going back and forth. Well, go back 1 week when the Dolphins blew that game to the Panthers. Another captain, Minkah Fitzpatrick, didn't speak to the media after the game last week. So in back-to-back weeks, you have a captain not speaking to the media, a captain calling out his own team, saying that they aren't showing up to meetings, and it starts with leadership. Tua! You realize when you refer to the lack of leadership of player-led meetings, you are referring to yourself. I'm not the only one who is listening to this and being like, what? ESPN's Jeff Darlington with the tweet that sums it all up. Like, if I'm going on a 12-minute rant and video and breakdown of everything that has been said after the game, it could all be summed up in this one tweet. Legitimately confused in what it means for a team captain to publicly question the leadership involved in assembling players-only meetings. Feels like it warrants a more thorough explanation. You fucking think? We have an incompetent GM. We have an absolute dumbass at head coach. And what happens when you merge incompetent GM with a dumbass at head coach? You get the worst quarterback in the NFL when it comes to inspiring confidence in a fan base, in leadership inside a locker room. You see the bottom of the screen right now. Everything must be torn down. It needs to have a full reset. I can't help but laugh at our own current situation. The GM has been the GM since 2016. No playoff wins. 0 for 3. Haven't won a playoff game in 25 years as a franchise, by the way. The head coach. Oh. I'm not even going to go there. And now you got this with the quarterback. And we already know his physical limitations. I mean, I'll tell you what, ever since he got paid that big contract extension, he has done a full 180. What do they call in the WWE, Coop? A heel turn? Yeah. That's what Tua's done. Full heel turn. Gone from young guy, career year in 2023, to cocky, insecure, and overpaid. More coming on Mike McDaniel's reaction to what Tua had to say. But this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make good decisions every day. The right decisions on Prize Picks can get you paid. So simple. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Available in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. How you play is up to you. You want flexibility? Choose the flex play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. You want the biggest payouts? Go for the power play. No matter how you play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your picks to the test. Now, my picks were terrible. I think I actually went 0 for 3 in this one. I didn't check back on Alec Pierce's longest reception, but I know Malik Washington didn't get 4, and I know Tua had a 45-yarder to Jalen Waddle. So tough for me. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks will not count it as a loss. Get started today. Download the Prize Picks app and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. So, we talked about what Jordan Brooks said. We talked about what Tua said. We talked about my reaction to it. Well, let's see Mike McDaniel's reaction to it. Why not? Asked about it. Clearly, he's sending a message. But from my standpoint, everything I've asked of guys, they've delivered on. And I'm sure whoever he's talking to, they will deliver. How can he legitimately say that? I think I spelled this wrong, too, by the way. Maybe not. Maybe I did. Everything you've asked of Mike has been delivered on. The team is 1-5. It's the worst defense in football by a landslide. They've delivered? Really? If they were delivering on what you were asking for, the Dolphins wouldn't be 1-5. And if they are delivering on what you're asking for, then that's an indictment on you for having this team not ready and able to win football games. What was that word I said earlier? Is in the title of this video? Dysfunction? Dysfunctional? Yeah. Do you understand? If you guys are listening to what I'm saying and reading on screen from some of these quotes and socials, do you understand the amount of circles we're running as a team? You have Mike McDaniel saying everything that's we've asked for has been delivered on, but you're 1-5 and you're losing every game. You have Jordan Brooks not commenting on what Tua said about people being late to players' own meetings. How is this possible, dude? It is really hard to fathom. And the only way we can move on and hopefully move forward is if you have a new head coach, a new GM, and eventually a new quarterback. Because these three in power cannot stay there. It is so clear. I don't care if you are the biggest Tua defender. if you were the biggest Tua hater and you want to point fingers at Tua for the reason why McDaniel and Grier haven't been able to have success. You want to point fingers at the defense and the head coach for a reason why Tua hasn't had success. Like, do you understand? It is all feeble at this point. To quote my friend Frank the Tank, it is feeble. What is the point of having these debates and conversations on who deserves blame the most? They all deserve to go. And they all need to go. And when they do, we will go live and I'm going to get drunk and have a party. I hope it's tomorrow. If the Dolphins fire McDaniel and Grier, or just Chris Grier, we will be going live on the channel having the biggest party of our lives. So hit that sub button and stay locked in for our daily Dolphins coverage. But then to round out the show, we got this. Achane was the first player to speak to the media after the game, press conference, live at the podium. He said, to lose like that, what more could we have done? Isn't this great? You have your quarterback and captain saying players aren't showing up to players-only meetings, players-led meetings. Another captain comment that. Mike McDaniel saying that everything that I've asked for, they have done. And then your best player, Achane, which, make no mistake, he is your best player. Had 2 touchdowns, career high in rushing yards today. It's been him and Waddle, 2 biggest bright spots on this entire team. Arguably the only bright spots. And Patrick Paul. I like Patrick Paul a lot. He's still a good pass protector. Needs to get better in the run game, but great pass protecting left tackle. Quick sidebar there. But your best player is calling out the defense. How could you take anything else from that statement other than the fact, what more could we have done? Right? What more could you have done? How about probably not have -6 yards in the third quarter? Like, by the way, his statement is just false because you could have been better. You could have done more. But the fact that you're publicly saying that just speaks to the level of dysfunction from top to bottom. It starts with the GM and head coach, seeps into the quarterback, and it seeps into the rest of the organization. It is truly at an unfathomable level. Final words on today's show. Stephen Ross, Jennifer Ross, anyone who knows the Stephen Ross family or can get this message to him. The season is lost. At 1-5, it's over. There is no hope of turning the season around. There is no hope of making a run to the playoffs. There is nothing. So, Stephen, from the fan base, I do not claim to speak for every person of the fan base, but I will try to lead us here as much as possible. Tear it down, bro. Tear it down and prove you're a serious owner. Can you move off Tua right now? No, I understand that. I've been saying that for a long time. I understand we're married to this dude for this year and likely next year unless some team trades for him. But you are not married to Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel. The two cannot hold their positions for another year. They should not be able to hold it for another minute. I tweeted this out last Monday. Every day that Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier are still employed is a slap in the face to every Dolphins fan who wants to support this team and does support this team. Stephen Ross needs to prove that you care about football. Winning football in Miami, which we have not seen a lot of. If you did care, Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier would be fired. They need to go. And I hope to God that when I wake up tomorrow morning, I am waking up to a notification that they are fired. I am hoping to God that when I stroll into work tomorrow morning and I am starting to do my work for the day of what I want to do content-wise, get our live show ready, the news drops. And if it doesn't, it will continue to signify Stephen Ross does not care about winning Miami Dolphins football.